Now let's take a look then at the 2017 GP2 grid, starting off with the reigning world champions Prema Racing. Charles Leclerc then and Antonio Fuoco for the Prema squad, of course, who won the championship in their debut season last season, so of course there'll be high expectations for the Italian squad in 2017. Charles Leclerc, of course, is the reigning GP3 champion, and Fuoco, of course, has raced in that series for the last 2 years, but of course now he is making the switch into GP2. Of course, both of them are backed by Ferrari, so of course, if they do well this year, if they possibly win the championship, we could certainly see them with one of the Ferrari-backed teams in Formula 1 in 2018. Next up then is Racing Engineering, and they've gone with Louis Delatraz and Gustav Malia. Malia, of course, making the switch from Rapax to Racing Engineering for 2017. Louis Delatraz, of course, was a runner-up in the Formula V8 3.5 series last year, second only to Tom Dillman, of course, the very experienced single-seater racer. Russian time then have gone with Artem Markelov and Norman Nato. Of course, Markelov will be racing in GP2 for Russian time for the 4th consecutive season, and Nato, of course, will be making the switch from Racing Engineering to a Russian time this season. ART Grand Prix retained Sergei Sorokin and partnered in with Alexander Albon, of course, who raced in GP3 last season with the ART squad. Dams Racing have gone with Oliver Rowland and Nicholas Latifi. Rowland, of course, making the switch from MP Motorsport to Dams for 2017. Nicholas Latifi being retained for a second year. Raffaele Marcello will be making the switch from Russian time to Campos. He'll be joined by Jordan King, who also switches teams. He's moved from Racing Engineering to Campos for this season. Meanwhile, at MP Motorsport, there is a very surprise driver there, because driving the number 13 MP Motorsport car will be Antonio Giovinazzi, who of course was the runner-up in the GP2 Championship last year. He'll be joined by Sergio Setti Camara, who of course is the Red Bull Junior driver. He of course raced in Formula 3 for the past 3 seasons, not finding quite as much success as was expected, but of course this season will be a real test for the Brazilian driver. At Trident then is a YouTuber turned racer, Lachlan Fitchett, alongside Sean Galley, of course, who has quite hefty backing behind him and is not short of a few dollars or a chicken burger indeed. Rapax then have gone with Luca Giotto and Nick de Vries. Of course, Nick de Vries, the McLaren young driver, alongside, of course, Luca Giotto, very highly rated, of course, was the runner-up in the GP3 Championship in 2015, moved to Trident for 2016 in GP2, and has now switched teams to Rapax to race with them alongside de Vries. Carlin then have gone with Nobuhiro Matsushita and Felix Morales. Of course, Matsushita making the switch from ART Grand Prix. He's been dropped by the Honda Young Driver program, but of course is hoping for a second chance at Carlin. Felix Morales, on the other hand, has moved across from the Indy Lights category to race in Europe in the GP2 Championship. Arden International then are the final team on the grid, then gone with Emil Bernsdorf and Igor Oruchev. Of course, Bernsdorf did do the final round of the 2016 season in Abu Dhabi, and of course Igor Oruchev raced in the Formula V8 3.5 series, winning multiple races in that category, but not being consistent enough to string together a championship challenge. Consistency will be something he needs to get in this, of course, very highly competitive series.
What is going on, guys? Fitcho here, and welcome to the Fitcho Career. It is round 1, race 1 of the 2017 GP2 Championship. We are here in Bahrain under the floodlights for the first feature race of the season, also known as the Saturday race, the longer race of the two on a GP2 weekend. Now, we're in Bahrain, one of the stronger tracks on the calendar for myself, so I'm hoping to get our championship bid off to a good start with a really strong result here in Bahrain, but I'm not really sure where I'm going to sit in the pecking orders. We've only done a little bit of testing, we haven't had any races yet, so I think it's about time we jump into the first competitive session of the year with qualifying for the Bahrain feature race. Here we go, in Bahrain, we're about to start our qualifying lap. We're actually doing a one-shot qualifying, just put a bit more pressure on ourselves, make it a little bit more fun as we head down into the first corner. You can see one of the Premas is leading, and there's Antonio Fuoco, and now Sorokin takes lead as we're actually currently down in 20th as we're already jumped up to 10th, so we got a very nice exit off that first complex of corners. As now we come down to turn 4. I usually gain a lot of time here, but I've actually locked up the front right, but it hasn't hurt us too badly as we're now up into P3 as we come up to the S's. One of my favourite parts of this track. Try and get a good run through here, use a lot of curves, and now we're into the lead as we head down to this tricky right-hand hairpin. Really hard to pick out your braking zone for that corner. There really is no braking marks. We actually locked up a little bit, but it's okay. But now into this really tricky left-hander. It is so easy just to pinch that front left tyre like I did there. We have got through there, and now we're down into P2. We've got Antonio Fuoco, the Italian, the Ferrari Junior, in front of us. As now we actually dropped at P3 as we go into this left-hander at the end of the straight, and we'll come out of that in P1, so we got a nice run through there. As now through the long right-hander, we have a little bit of a moment, getting a little bit too much curb, letting the back end step out on us, but it's okay. We're still sitting in the top 3. No, the top 4 now as Sorokin is leading. You can see his Ghost just pulling away from us a little bit as we come to the final corner on the track. I broke a little bit early. We'll aim to get a good run out of there as we're in P4, running up to the line. Who's going to get pole? Where am I going to finish? Open the DRS. Sorokin snags pole, I think, as we cross the line in 4th place. Yes, 4th place. So pretty good for our first qualifying session of the year, our first qualifying session in GP2. I'm quite happy with that, as Sergei Sorokin takes pole by 0.013 over Norman Nato, and Fuoco coming home in 3rd, 0.026 off pole. And we're on the back of the second row, 4th place, only half a tenth off pole. Very, very close qualifying session. It's eventually got the top 5 covered by less than a tenth. So if we have a look at the strategy for today's feature race, the team is telling us to go for a 3-stop strategy, and if our tyre wear isn't the best towards the end of the race, go for a 4-stop strategy. Seems a lot of stops for Bahrain, because I seem to remember getting away with maybe a 2-stop in my league race, but that was a fair few weeks ago, so I'm not quite sure on that, but I'll trust the team on this one. I'll go with what they say. They usually put together a pretty good strategy, but I think it's time for the first race of the 2017 GP2 Championship, the Bahrain feature race, under the floodlights. Let's get into it. Here we go, get the revs into the optimal range, the lights are on, 5 lights, as lights out, and away we go. The 2017 GP2 Championship is underway as we get a very good start right in the slipstream of Norman Nato. We're going to pull to the inside of the Frenchman into the first corner, and we're just going to get squeezed out there a little bit by Fuoco and Nato, as now we get pushed a bit wide by Alexander Albon, and we've lost out to Markelov and Leclerc in the process. Because of that, we're going to go back up the inside of the reigning GP3 champion. We've got yellow flags. Were we in front when they came out? Yes, we were. We get the position for 6th place. Not the start we wanted, as we got a little bit of a tap from Alexander Albon, and now the safety car is out. I'm not too sure what's happened, but it looks like there's been an incident at turn number 4 with a few of the cars further back in the pack. Here we go, safety car in this lap, the end of lap 4, and the safety car is going to be peeling into the pit lane. We're going to be restarting this race from 6th place, right behind the Russian Artem Markelov. In his Russian time, we've got Charles Leclerc, the reigning GP3 champion, right behind us in the best car on the grid, the Prema Racing car. Here we go. I think Sorokin's leading from Nato, Fuoco, Albon, Markelov, then me. We're up into Rich Revs, ready for the restart as we come round the final corner, waiting for Sorokin to drop the hammer, and now we're going. The green flag is about to fall any second, as there's a bit of a swerve there from Markelov as they lifted off a little bit, and we get past him, and now Albon's going quite slow as well as we head down into turn number 1 onto the brakes. Can we possibly get up the inside of Fuoco? Not quite, as we take a little bit too much curb there, as we still have Alexander Albon on our outside, and we've made contact yet again at that left-right complex at turns 2 and 3, but we have the inside line now for turn number 4, and we're completely past him, making that move stick up into 4th place. Is now got to hunt down Fuoco in his Prema. We're right on the back of Fuoco. Can we launch a move up the inside of the penultimate corner? Yes, we can, but he holds it right around our outsides. We've been called into the pits this lap by our team, but our tyres aren't really that worn due to the safety car period, so I think we can go another lap as Fuoco is trying to hang it right around our outside, but he can't do it, and we make the move stick for 3rd place, as that looked like Nato peeling off into the pit lane, as Sorokin has run off with this race already. Got a great safety car restart, as it looked like Nato was caught a little bit napping, and now he's got quite a big gap by GP2 standards, considering we've only had one lap of racing. But now we're going to try and hunt him down. But we've got Fuwako and Co to fend off at the same time. This is going to be interesting. Sergei Sorokin has pulled off into the pit lane. So has Fuwako and a lot of other cars. Me and Albon have continued on. Of course, Albon can't pit as he shares the pits with his teammate Sergei Sorokin. But it looks like we're going for a slightly longer strategy in this first stint than they are. I will be pitting at the end of this lap as my tyres are getting quite worn quite quickly, you can see. But I want to make the most of that safety car period in terms of my tyre strategy and just extending it out a little bit. Here we go, end of lap 7. We're going to be coming into the pit stop for our first stop of what is meant to be a 3-stop strategy, I believe. And Albon has followed us into the pits, and so have a lot of other cars. You can see, not that many actually. There's a few other cars coming into the pits, as well as my teammates, so that is quite weird. Coming into the pits at the same time as me, but are we going to get held by anyone? No, we're not. We're going to stay ahead of Albon, as Nato sets the fastest lap. Sorokin gets past us. I think Nato got past us. We're going to come out of the pits. Even Markelov's got past us, so our overcut has not really worked, but we are on fresher tyres, and we've just come out ahead of Fuwako, who's actually going to the soft tyres, so it looks like he and Prima are going for a little bit of a different strategy with their number 2 car with Fuwako, but we are behind the Russian times and Sorokin now, so there's not how we wanted those stops to play out, but we are on fresh tyres, so we can probably push a little bit harder now. We're now within DRS range of Artem Markelov as we get the purple lap. Rich Rev, Slipstream, DRS, we're going to dive it up his inside. Into turn 1, but you run it very deep, pinch to the front right, and he gets a bit of a switch back on us, and we can't make that move stick. We are now right on the back of him with Rich Rev still. We're going to pull to his inside for turn number 4, and this time we should be able to make the move stick for what is currently 9th place. Oh, there's a car off. Oh, Bernstorff! Oh, he's been hit by Markelov. He's hit Markelov. He's come right back across the track. What was Bernstorff doing? He had a bit of an incident with Sergei Sorokin up ahead. I think it's Sorokin up ahead. And then he's come right back across the track. Almost hit me and taken Markelov out. Holy crap, that was so close to a disaster for myself. And it ended in tears for Markelov. Not how he wanted his season to start. Holy crap, what was he doing just coming back across the track like that? That is absolutely ridiculous. But that has slowed down Sergei Sorokin up ahead a little bit, because he did get in a bit of a battle, and now Nato's just ahead of us a little ways, and then Sorokin not far ahead of him is now. Some of the stops are starting to filter through a little bit. I'm currently in 5th place with 4th and 3rd in sight, and then in front of that, actually, 2nd place isn't much in front of Sorokin, and then 1st place is a fair bit ahead on an alternate strategy. I don't think he's pitted yet. As I say, I don't think the leader's pitted. He has pitted just now, and so is Norman Nato. So it was actually Ollie Rowland out leading that race. He's pitted, so is Nato, and we're now up into a podium place, but we're going to have to pit quite soon, and Nato has the undercut on us yet again. End of lap 14, and I'm coming into the pits for my 2nd stop of the race, just getting the car stopped as Jeff is telling me about an alternate strategy as I'm in the pits. Great job, Jeff. We're coming in to the pits, start of lap 15. We were originally going to put the super softs on now, but I've decided to put the softs on because I'm not too confident with my tyre wear, and I think I might have to actually go with 2 soft stints towards the back half of the race. So I wanted to put the softs on now. If I can make it to the end on the super softs after this stint, I will, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to go back onto the softs as our teammate Jean Galile is actually ahead of us as we re-emerge in 17th place. And we've got Fuwako not too far behind us, who followed us into the pit lane. He was about 3 seconds back when we came into the pits, and he has gone onto the super soft tyre, the quicker tyre, but it will degrade quicker than ours. Right on the back of our teammate already. Rich Revs, DRS, overpowered, Slipstream. Can we go up the inside of Sean Galile? Yes, we can. Up into 16th place, and I've just noticed up ahead, it looks like there is a massive battle pack going on, especially if you look at the mini-map. So we've got a lot of traffic to fight through which is not what we want. And judging by distances, when Sirotkin actually pits, I think he's actually going to come out right in the middle of that pack, so that's going to be quite interesting. Oh, it looks like Nato is actually caught up in this battle pack, so that's going to help us in our fight against Norman Nato, and that could help us get possibly second position, as now we're right on the back of this train, right on the back of a Rudzev. We've got the Rich Rev Slipstream DRS, but he has all that as well, but we're going to dive it up his inside at the end of the DRS straight and make the move for 15th place, as now we're on the back of Sorellis in the Carlin. Try and get a good run off the final corner. Couldn't quite pull out there. I thought we could for a second. I thought we had the momentum, but not quite. We have to duck back into the slipstream. And now we're pulling up the inside of Sorellis. Oh my god, we've gone so deep under the brakes. We've gone up the inside of Nato. And now we're side by side with Matsushita, but he does get the position on us. As I looked like I saw an ART going side by side up ahead. So it looks like Sirotkin may have emerged in this battle pack, as these guys are braking quite early. So yes, he has. As we sneak up the inside of Matsushita, as now we're on the back of Giovinazzi, the very impressive rookie from last season who got dropped by Prima Racing. As now we're going to go up his inside into this hairpin and get it up into 9th place. As now we're on the back of Delatrans in his racing engineering. In front of him is Seta Camera, and then Sergei Sirotkin, the man we're trying to chase down for this race win. We've got DRS Slipstream on Delatraz. Can we possibly make a move at the end of this DRS straight? I don't think we are close enough. No, we are not. We're going to have to stay behind him for now, behind the Swiss driver, but I do like to get a bit of a switchback line through this corner and dive it down the inside here, and that is exactly what we're going to do. Try and make the move on Delatraz. Oh, he's just leaving his nose in there. If I close the door, we both would have been spinning off into the wall, but he's on our outside. We do have the inside line for the final corner though, and we're going to make the most of that. Squeeze him out here up into 8th places. Now we're right on the back of Sergio Sertacamera, the Red Bull Junior. We're going to pull to his inside. I don't think he has the ADA DRS. He might. No, he doesn't have the ADA DRS. And quite an easy overtake on him, up into 6th place. And all this has worked into our favor, because as you can see, Sirotkin is closer than he has been since pretty much the start of the race. End of lap 22, and we're coming into the pits for our final stop of this race. We're going to go into another set of the soft tyres. I thought I might be able to extend it out and go onto super softs, but I'm just not confident in my tyre wear to go onto the super softs and try and go to the end. So we're going to change to the softs and go to the end as we're dropping down. It looks like we're going to drop down to 9th place, or possibly 10th, as we're even 11th maybe, as we now come out of the pits. We're down into 10th, possibly even 11th, as we're now racing with Norman Nato on the exit. That's not Maldonado. He's got the inside line there. We're going to ride around his outside there, squeeze him out. He's still there. We're side by side. We've got the inside line for turn number 4, so it should be an easy move. Up into 10th place, so we are in a points paying position, and that might be all we can manage. I'm not sure how the strategy is going to play out. It looks like Leclerc is on medium tyres in front of us, so he's probably been on them for a few laps. So they're going to drop off towards the end of the race, and they're just not going to be that quick in general, so we might be able to get up a few places, but I don't think our strategy has worked out as we hoped it would. Sounds like Leclerc has an issue with his car. He's going to be slow, so that's going to help us even more just to get a few more points on the board. Leclerc does look rather slow, as we've already got DRS on him. It looks like another car was in the pits. I'm not too sure who that was, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to go up the inside of Charles Leclerc, up into 8th place, quadrupling our points on one straight. But now it's a bit of a gap up to Jordan King, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to reel him in. But I am going to chuck over to Rich Revs, and on this lap, I'm going to go for fastest lap and try and get the extra points for the fastest lap. There we go, fastest lap, another 2 points in the bag, I think. We've got a 4-second gap up to Jordan King. We're going to try and reel that in. You could just see him there, you can see him there, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it in the amount of laps we have left. Oh, Albon's in the pits, and another car has just come out of the pits up. That is Sorokin. The race leader has made an extra pit stop. Both ART cars have made an extra pit stop. What are they doing? They were on the mediums, could cruise to the end, but with 2 laps to go, both ART cars have come into the pits. A major strategy blunder by the ART guys. Drops Sorokin from 1st to 6th, and he's possibly going to get 5th as he's hounding the back of Jordan King on his new Super Sauce. But still, they had the race win in the bag. What are they doing, ART? And now, who's leading the race? I do not know. I don't know what name's going to pop up at the end of the race on my screen. The leader has rounded the final corner. Who's going to win this race? Oliver Rowland wins the Bahrain feature race, the first race of the 2017 GP2 season. I did not see that coming whatsoever. Dams take home the first silverware of the season as Sorokin takes the fastest lap at the death and the extra 2 points that comes with it as we cross the line in 7th place. Considering we started 4th, that's not the race we wanted. We weren't on the right strategy compared to the other guys, and yeah, you know, that stuff happens. We weren't on the ideal strategy, and there's not much we can do about that. But Oliver Rowland has won the Bahrain feature race from Luca Giotto and Raffaele Marcello, with Gustav Malia just off the podium, then Sergei Sorokin in 5th, Jordan King in 6th, myself in 7th, Norman Nato 8th, Fuoco 9th, and Alexander Albon rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 we have Louis Delatraz and Sergio Setta-Camara, and then a little bit below that in 13th place we've got Antonio Giovinazzi after his stellar rookie season in 2016. He starts 2017 off not on probably the note he wanted. That being said, last year he started off the year on the fence, so actually finishing the race is probably an improvement. Then you got Igor Orudzev, I think that's how you pronounce his name, correct me if I'm wrong, Nobuharu Matsushita, Felix Sorales, and Charles Leclerc down in 17th place, so not the performance we're expecting from the reigning GP3 champion. And then our teammate Jean Galail in 18th, Nick de Vries down in 19th, Nicholas Latifi, the teammate of the race winner, in 20th, then Bernstorff and Markov, the two that collided so dramatically, right behind me, down in 21st and 22nd. But having a look at the strategies, it looks like the 2-stop was clearly the best option, with the top 4 finishers all going on the 2-stop. I didn't even think they were in contention in this race, but their strategy paid off. And you can see the 3-stoppers, Sorokin, me, Nato, and Fuoco and Albon. It just didn't work out for us, but we're going to live and learn. Tomorrow we have the sprint race, only a 25% race, so the strategy is not going to be so crucial. It's more going to be out and out racing, track position. That's what it's all going to be. That's the name of the game in tomorrow's race, track position. We'll see how we go. We'll come back tomorrow in the daytime for the Bahrain sprint race, and hopefully we can get a few more points to our name and try and climb the championship ladder a little bit more. So if we now have a look at the championship standings, the drivers is not actually the same as the race results, how you'd think it would be because it's the first round. That's because in GP2 they award 2 points for pole position and 2 points for the fastest lap of the race. In this race, both of which went to Sergei Sorokin, so that's an extra 4 points for him, moving him up 1 place from 5th to 4th, and other than that, the standings are exactly the same as the race finished. Now, as for the team standings, Dams are currently leading from Campos, only 2 points difference, as Campos had quite a strong finish in that race with 3rd and 6th place. Just behind them is Rapax, then it's Art GP, Racing Engineering, Trident, Russian Time, Prima, quite a long way down, currently in 8th place after the first race. We go remember, they are the reigning champions, the defending champions, so you'd expect a little bit better from them, but maybe their season will pick up a little bit later. You know, it's the first race, and I believe Charles Leclerc did have some sort of problems with his car. Behind them is MP Motorsport, Carlin, and Arden rounding out the field. That is all for today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'll be next Fit Joe, and I'll see you all next time.